Hi, this is Jeff Weiner here at Realquantum. This video is part of our highest and best used blog and webinar series we created to provide useful information to everyone in the commercial real estate valuation ecosystem. The video is part of a series where we talk with appraisal professionals about business during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hope you like it. Really fortunate today to be able to chat with Evan Himel, an appraiser in Louisiana. Hey, Evan, how are you doing?
Doing good, Jeff. How are you?
I am great. I really appreciate you spending a couple of minutes. So I would just kind of like to get started. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I'm a small shop here in South Louisiana.
Mhm.
It's me and my wife and two trainees, and we've been working pretty remotely since 2017, and we've tried to make it more and more remote as we went along for a couple of reasons. One, I just thought giving our trainees the ability to work from home was important, and then giving them a pretty long leash as far as work and where they want it to be. If they wanted to be in the office, they could be. If they wanted to work from home, they could do that as well.
Mhm.
And then me and my wife also work from home a good bit whenever we feel like it. If the kids are sick home one day and we need to stay home, we do that. If I have inspections lined up and they're just closer to our house than they are the office, we'll work from here instead of there. It's almost like we have two offices, one here and one
Great.
kind of in town. We kind of live in the suburbs, and our office is further into the city.
So what is your mix of business? Are you straight commercial, residential? How do you?
We do we do about 80/20, I think 80% commercial
Mhm.
as far as our gross revenue goes. It's about 80% commercial, and then we do about 20% residential.
So what's your team
Uh,
look like?
One has 2 years of experience, and one has just started in the past 2 months. So he's still learning, and it was kind of a bad time to join the team, but he's doing well. He's surprisingly you know, adapted well to the change, but he's a smart guy. So he's learning fast, and he's doing really good. And it helps that we have things set up the way we have them with the remote work and the
Right.
software and everything. So
That's good. So you have two trainees, but you said they're doing really well because as a trainee, you need to provide a lot of mentorship,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so what kind of tools and strategies have you found useful for making that work when
Well,
you're not all together all the time?
when it comes to communication, I mean, email is probably the go-to, but obviously we text message a lot, and we're set up on Google. So all my Google Calendar, my inspection times and everything are kind of spread out across the team. So everybody knows when everything's going on. So if we want to schedule a meeting, just kind of let everybody know on the calendar, and kind of emails everyone what time the meeting is, what it's about. So we kind of use that for like general office communication.
Hmm.
And then with the report building, we use Realquantum, and we use the fact that it's a web platform to our advantage, because we're all able to work in the same project at the same time, or multiple projects at the same time. And that's really convenient when you have a team that can do certain portions. We'll have somebody working on the market analysis section, somebody working on the general front end of the report with the intro and everything, and then we'll have someone else doing comp entry, someone else doing the analysis. I'll be doing the analysis and the write-ups while other people are working on the next report that we have up, and I'll be doing the reviews while they're working. So it creates a assembly line process that works really well for us in our business.
That's really good.
That
So you
yeah,
have two candidates though. So do you have them creating different parts of the report with you?
sure. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. They can work autonomously on some parts, and then on other parts they kind of need, especially the newer trainee, kind of needs a little bit more hand holding. Mariah, our older trainee, she can do almost everything autonomously. She is completely on her own, and then I kind of step in when she has questions.
Hmm.
When we get to the research and analysis side of things, we'll collaborate more. But then at the end, I'm basically stepping in and kind of doing a really, really thorough review of
Right.
her report, and then we pretty much finalize it. With the newer trainees, it's a little bit more time spent for me in kind of being there to walk them through each step, but we set up a really nice training process with a training manual, but also an operations manual for the company.
That's
and
pretty good. So you
a,
have 4 people in your company, and you have an operations manual.
Yeah, we set that
That's
up
impressive.
really early because we knew we wanted to to kind of grow with new people. So it's a Google Sites page with YouTube videos and then checklist for what to do through each process.
That's really
so that makes it really easy on the trainees. Whereas the way I was trained was just really hands-on with my trainer.
So for you, it sounds like one of the questions I want to ask you is how's your business model changed before and now during this pandemic? It sounds like there's a lot of things you set up to make this way more seamless than it might have otherwise been.
It was incredibly seamless, and I caution how I talk about it because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, like I knew what was going to happen. I didn't know that we were going to end up having to shelter in place for 2 months. But I did know when I first started in 2017, when I started my business in 2017, that I wanted to take the next step with technology in the appraisal business. I wanted to be an early adapter and not lag behind everybody.
And you did a good job, right? So you've done some videos on your mobile tool set, right from the driver's seat of your truck and things like that. So that's so, and that's why I appreciate you sharing this, because like a lot of things, the tools and techniques that are being used now, necessity is the mother of invention, right? It's pushing a lot of things. I'm curious, just to kind of build on the discussion about changes from before and now during the pandemic. So you talked about some tools you're using. Has your business volume or mix of services changed over the last, say, 6 to 10 weeks?
We were really busy when all this started, and that kind of carried over through about halfway through the quarantine, and we're still pretty busy. I would say for what's going on, I would say we're a little bit slower than we were last month, but we're still doing work, which I'm happy with. I think with the commercial side, the projects that were in the works are still going to be in the works. What we see a lot of when we get closer to the summer is proposed construction projects. A lot of people are starting to build things. I think what's been going on hasn't really slowed that really, because you're still hoping that that's going to end by the time the construction project's done, and then you can just go back to business as normal. And then on the refi side, you're just having more and more people refinance because they need the capital to get through this, especially if they're one of the businesses that have been forced to close.
So have any of your business priorities shifted during this time before pandemic and now in it?
I think we're on hold with hiring. We interviewed another trainee. We'll make our third, and we kind of told him we're kind of in a wait and see position with that. And I think the closer we get to the end of it, the more I'm thinking we'll go ahead and hire him. But also, it's still kind of touch and go just with how busy we're going to be, which I don't mind hiring when we're busy. I don't mind hiring when we're slow. It doesn't really matter. But with just operations, we kind of we're just waiting to see what happens when it comes to hiring. And then the only other real change has been with communication with inspections. So whenever we go out to do the site visits, we're having to communicate a little bit more about what to expect, about who's going to be there, if we're going to come in contact with anyone. If not, no problem. But if so, do we do an exterior only? Do we do PPE? Do we So we've tried to communicate that the best we can and try to set our inspections up and try to be as forthcoming as possible with what the person who's going to meet us can expect from us. And if there's a concern about anything, we try to either tell them what we can do as far as wearing protective gear, or we can try to communicate with our client about doing exterior only. We've done a few of those since this has all taken place. So the exterior onlys are fine as long as we can get some good data on the property from either the property owner or another source.
I want to say this, but give me your gut. What do you see as the outlook for your part of the country in the next 3 to 6 months?
I'll tell you the truth. Here, we're absolutely more concerned with the price of oil than coronavirus. I think we're starting to see businesses start to kind of do what they can as far as opening, and some may not survive. So we may see some effects from coronavirus as far as businesses closing, and then if there's some unemployment related problems with coronavirus, that could certainly have a downward impact on demand. But we're an oil rich area, so we're definitely dependent to a certain degree on the oil and gas industry being a base employer here. We've done a really excellent job locally of diversifying over the past 20 years.
Good.
And when we had a dip in oil prices back in 2014, 2015, we didn't see the impact on the real estate market that you would expect. We had a very strong showing over the 3-year period after the last decline in oil prices. Our real estate market kind of just stabilized. It didn't decline. It didn't increase. It kind of just stabilized. And I'm sure there's some pockets here and there where maybe some people, lost value, but for the large part, we fared well compared to the oil crash of the 80s, where pretty much everybody left town and we didn't have anybody left here. So we've diversified into tech. We have a lot of good investment in that. We have a lot of good entrepreneur business incubator programs here. My prediction is some slowing, but we've been a pretty resilient real estate market overall over the past 5 years, and I expect that to continue, bearing any devastating news with the oil and gas industry and the coronavirus stuff. So.
Well, Evan, I really appreciate it. My takeaways from this conversation with you is that first, because you've been an innovator and a leader in creating a process that scales and that is easy to collaborate using smart tech, you guys didn't skip a beat when you had to switch and do full remote work. It sounds like you're clearly well connected with the industry and the marketplace. And so the idea that you're probably going to be hiring another trainee right now, that says great things about your practice. So I really appreciate the time. Appreciate your thought leadership, and I wish you the best for you and your family. Stay healthy and keep at it.
Thanks, Jeff. You too. You guys stay safe and healthy out there.
All right. Thanks a lot.